what's happening, man? This is Trent. A good question came in today from the creator Kool-Aid, who wants to know, hey, Trent, when would you say that you're ready to sell your art? Everyone's skill in their belief in themselves is different, but when would you say someone like myself would be ready to start putting myself on the market to make 3D models for video games? Well, now, you know what, the creator Kool-Aid, I don't even need to look at your portfolio to give you this advice. I'm going to tell you something. You need to use your delusion a little bit. Everyone who is a successful writer or artist or creator, at some point or another, may have not even realized they're delusional. Why would anyone care about the art that you make? But that creative person had to, at some point, have enough belief in themselves to think, well, hey, I should give it a shot. The people who lack that delusion are still waiting around for somebody else to give them permission to do the thing that they really want to be doing. So don't wait for somebody else to tell you that you're finally good enough, at least to give it a try, to put it up there and be available to sell your artwork. If you don't get a certificate in the mail, you don't get somebody's approval. I mean, some people feel like they need this. I don't know, maybe a piece of paper from an art school or something. But like sometimes that's worthless too, you know? So that's a weird thing that like people tend to wait for somebody else to give them permission, and they don't even like verify the qualification of the person who gave them permission. They just go, oh, well, somebody believed in me and they seem like they knew what they were talking about. So you need to believe in yourself. I hate to say it like that. That sounds like a Disney afternoon. Believe in yourself, man. That's the big challenge. Every movie, the big secret to everything behind it all was you really just needed to believe in yourself. You need to believe in your heart. Well, in this case, I'm going to tell you that, to some extent, you're going to need that. That's gusto. That's the thing, the self-belief, even to a point of delusion that you're ready. Now, the second thing that I'm going to tell you, which seems kind of contrary to that, is that you're probably not really ready. I better explain myself. First of all, you're never really ready because there's always another mountain to climb. There's always another tier for you to reach toward. Getting that first sale ever means so much. But after a little while, that wears off. And then you're like, well, how do I make this a regular thing? How do I make this a living? People buy artwork for a multitude of reasons, one of which is just exceptional skill. So if you don't have exceptional skill, it's going to be hard for you to sell something. But, you might also find that people buy your artwork because of what it represents or what it makes them feel. You might also find that people will buy your artwork because they like the character that you drew. For example, some people make a good living just doing fan art. It's a bit of a trap, and I don't want to encourage anybody to do that. But my point is to say, if you never put your artwork on the marketplace, you'll never know. You'll never know what people want. You'll never know what people will buy. And you'll never know if you're ever good enough. And you certainly won't find out whether you're good enough if you never put your work out there on a public place for people to buy. So if you're convinced and you're like, oh, okay, well, I want to actually try to sell my artwork. Okay, well, how do I go about doing that? What I recommend is that if you're just now at a point where you're like, hey, you know what? I've been drawing a long time. I wonder if I could sell this. Well, there are a few steps that you could take. One is to model yourself after somebody else that's selling their artwork. So like, for example, I worked with somebody recently who did a bunch of emotes for me. And this particular artist, they reached out to me. They had a website that showed examples of the icons and the emotes, emojis for Discord that they've done. They had a pricing list showing this is how many icons you'll get for this price. This is the quality standard that you can expect. I give you this file format, this, and this. This is how long it takes me to do it. If you present a website to a potential customer that says, here's what I offer and here's what it will cost you, then you're setting yourself up for the opportunity for them to hire you knowing what they're going to get. Now, that may not answer your question in terms of are you ready to break into the big AAA video game scene, but it certainly should get your feet wet in learning how to sell yourself and how to sell your artwork. But it's a good starting point. So find somebody like that. Find somebody that has a good business model on an entry level that you could accomplish. You could do that and emulate what they're doing. Not exactly, but emulate their business and how they're selling their artwork. This gets a lot more complicated when you start looking for employment or you start looking to work as a 3D modeler in the video game industry, though. A good gauge to know whether or not you're ready to go pro and actually work at a big video game company is to be posting, if you're posting your artwork on their forums and you're getting a good response from their customers, Or, for example, if you're making content for mods or indie games, or if you're making content on ArtStation and you're getting a lot of traffic for it, that's going to be a good indicator as to whether or not you're going to be good enough. Now, the mistake that a lot of people who are inexperienced will make is that they will assume that once they get the job, they'll suddenly be magically good enough. But that doesn't happen that way. It's not like you walk through the door and then they spray you down with a sauce. They batter you up and rub you down with like a scent that makes you suddenly, taste like Kentucky Fried Chicken. No, that magical Kentucky Fried Chicken flavor comes from a very secret special sauce within yourself. Oh my God, this metaphor is out of control. If you want to be finger licking good at art, you're going to need to develop that on your own. And, I watched some of my myriad of other videos about how to increase your value as an artist and make yourself more employable. I have loads of them here on my YouTube channel. Another thing that I want to point out is that not all feedback is equal, So like if you're posting, let's say that you're trying to get a job at an animation studio and you're posting photo bash stuff that doesn't look like what they make, any feedback you get from fans of that genre or that style of film or video game is not going to be applicable to the work that you're doing. So, keep that in mind when you're evaluating whether or not you're getting closer to your goal. Have a goalpost. That's another big problem that I noticed that a lot of artists don't do. They don't have a goalpost. So you need to define where your next goal is. And that should be an attainable goal. It shouldn't be like, oh, I just want to get a job at Blizzard. No. You have to be very specific about it. For example, if you're looking to get a job on the World of Warcraft team, then your goal should be to make a character that looks like it fits right next to another character from that game. And all of your energy should be put into studying how they did it and how you can make it as good as what it is that they've got. And you should not be taking feedback from people who are working on different games or people who don't appreciate World of Warcraft. You just use World of Warcraft as an example, but this applies to any studio. Your goal should be skill-based. The opportunities will come from you already having the skills, not the other way around. When I was 16 years old, I started self-publishing comic books. I didn't get anybody telling me that I was good enough. In fact, I got rejected by, Marvel and other, professional publishing comic book companies. And I got shot down. They said, you'll never work here with that kind of skill set. But I was 16 and I was like, you know what? Nobody tells me no, man. Don't tell me what I can't do. So I just went ahead and made it. My first comics didn't sell very well, just like maybe a few hundred copies, like 500 or 600 copies. But my third book, I finally figured out some secrets. I figured out some things that would really make my book stand apart. So that's what I would advise to you. Just like any business, you need to put your work out there. And if you're not getting any buyers, then you have to increase the value and the skill that you're showing and the usefulness of what it is that you're making. And then if you make something of value, then people will buy it. And that becomes your ongoing pursuit. Jump in head first and figure it out on the way. It's my personal philosophy. Other people might disagree with that, but that's the way I've done it. And hey, it's worked out pretty good for me. Be fearless, be brave. You're capable of more than you think. And you're capable of more than other people think you're capable of. So in conclusion, the best thing I could say to you is that you're ready when you're able to actually do it. But if you never try, then you won't ever be ready. But do not ever assume that there's somebody out there that's going to stop you or tell you you shouldn't. And even if they do, it's not their business whether or not you can or should pursue what it is that you want to achieve. Don't wait for permission to accomplish your goals. Go for it. And put the work in every day to achieve that goal. Don't worry, it gets addictive. Once you achieve that goal, you start looking for bigger goals to achieve. And it's a lot of fun. All right, dudes, that's my video for this week. If you're serious about art and you want to learn how to make comic books, or you want to learn how to make video game concept art for video games, or if you just want to develop your skills, I've got a lot of tutorials, really in-depth stuff you can't get at even art schools. I get people telling me all the time, they don't teach me this stuff at art school. And I got all that over on my Gumroad channel. I do a box set every year. That includes everything that I make for that year, including all of my workshops. And right now I just released the 2021 box set. It's still early on, but you'll get access to, if you buy it now, you get it at a discounted price and you get access to everything I'm going to make this year. I got some awesome stuff planned. So dudes, don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch y'all. My God, Devon, and ciao, baby. Oh yeah.